They always described you the exact same way. Too kind, too forgiving, the one who stayed quiet just to keep the peace. And because of that beautiful kindness, they severely underestimated you, never realizing that your gentle nature was actually a shield hiding a massive spiritual warrior. Welcome to your era of quiet authority. Funny how the same people who ignored your texts are suddenly feeling incredibly uncomfortable around you because your new frequency is exposing them. They thought betrayal would break you, but instead, it activated a primal and dangerous level of spiritual power inside you. Do not scroll past this. Heaven is about to expose exactly what is happening. Those who plotted against you are watching everything they built crumble. A massive table is being prepared for you right in their presence. Stay with me. The final piece of this divine puzzle will change how you walk forever. You used to wonder if justice would ever come for you. You asked the universe why the wicked seemed to prosper while your pure heart was trampled on. The wait was absolutely agonizing for your soul, but the waiting season is finally over. They are collapsing one by one, and they have no idea how to stop it. Right now, behind closed doors, absolute panic is setting in. The people who drained your energy are suffocating. They relied on your emotional reactions to survive. They needed your anger. They needed your desperate attempts to explain yourself. When you finally went completely silent, you cut off their emotional oxygen supply. You stopped playing their sick game, and that was the most devastating move you could have ever made. Your silence is a weapon of light. They thought your silence was a sign of weakness. But what they did not realize was that isolation was your ultimate training ground. You evolved into something entirely different. Now your presence alone shifts the atmosphere, demanding respect without a single spoken word. Your silence terrifies them. You are officially untouchable. Look back at the last few months of your life. The intense loneliness was not a curse. The endless cycle of toxic people was a rigorous spiritual crucible designed to test your strength. Heaven had to ruthlessly remove those counterfeit connections. God had to isolate you to protect your aura. You are a chosen one. They tried to extinguish your light because it exposed their hidden darkness, but they failed completely. Every closed door was divine protection. Every unanswered text was a bullet dodged. You felt the pain of rejection deeply, but that terrible pain was actively forging you into a powerful master of reality. You are no longer the victim crying in the dark. You are the cycle breaker. The energetic cord has been permanently severed. And now they have to sit back and watch you rise while their own foundations crumble into dust. They monitor your life in secret. They watch your quiet moves with intense envy. The universe is now pouring out blessings that were meant for you all along. The grand wealth transfer is happening. You do not even have to lift a finger to defend yourself anymore. The divine forces are fighting this massive battle on your behalf. Take one slow breath right now. Feel that tightness leaving your chest. That is the feeling of total liberation. You have finally realized that you hold all the winning cards. You played your cards quietly. You did not announce your deep healing. You just did the quiet work in the dark. And now the brilliant results are blinding them. This is the exact timeline you were born to rule. You are walking in a totally different frequency now. The old you would have tried to save them from their own rapid destruction. But the empath with boundaries does not play that dangerous game anymore. You have learned that some people are fully committed to misunderstanding you. Let them sit in the dark. The universe honors your strict boundaries. But there is a deeper layer to this incredible phenomenon. Something is happening right now that you absolutely need to be aware of. Before we go any further, I want to hold something in front of you. Something that was discovered not inside a church or a spiritual community, but somewhere entirely unexpected by most people. It was found inside a highly advanced research laboratory, something that won the highest scientific recognition available, shaking the foundations of what we know. Most chosen ones have never been told about this secret. It explains something I know you have felt deeply. It explains the gap between the person you know yourself to be and your current reality. I will show you exactly what was found, but not yet. First, I need you to fully understand what was taken from you without your permission. So hold this important question in your mind. What if the gap is not a personal character flaw? What if the block has a scientific name that no one told you about? Listen closely. The real truth will shock your spirit. Before you do anything else, take a deep breath. I need you to listen carefully to this next part. Your shoulders are tight, and the weight is incredibly heavy. And every morning when you wake up, the exhaustion is already sitting on your chest before you even open your eyes. You push through the pain just to survive the day. You smile brightly for everyone else around you, but inside your spirit, you are feeling completely drained. You have spent years biting your tongue just to keep the peace. You swallowed your own truth to make other people perfectly comfortable, while they never offered you the same basic respect in return. And for a long time, you convinced yourself this is what good people do. You thought personal sacrifice was your ultimate duty. You wake up at 3 in the morning with your mind racing fast. You replay old conversations quietly in the dark. You wonder why you did not stand up for yourself when they crossed your boundaries, and the guilt eats away at your peaceful soul. That strange tightness in your chest is absolutely not random anxiety. Stop letting the world convince you that you are just stressed or overly sensitive. You are energetically exhausted from carrying their heavy burdens. You poured your golden energy into empty, bottomless pits. You deeply loved people who only knew how to take from you. And when you had nothing left to give, they looked at you like you were the problem because they could no longer feed on your light. The sheer audacity of their constant entitlement is staggering, but you chose not to fight back against them. You just turned and walked away in silence. They boldly called you weak for walking away quietly. They told all their friends that you were running away from the conflict. But here is the profound truth they deliberately tried to hide from you. Your silence was absolutely not a form of cowardice, but it was a divine protection protocol activating deep inside your nervous system. Heaven physically shut your mouth to save your soul. God knew that if you engaged in their toxic arguments, you would lower your vibration to their dark level and become hopelessly entangled in a demonic web of drama. Your silence was the ultimate spiritual boundary keeping you safe. It was never a retreat or a cowardly surrender. It was a strict, energetic quarantine designed by the universe. You were bravely stepping out of their muddy water. The empath with boundaries is the most terrifying creature to a narcissist. You used to desperately beg them to understand your perspective. You wrote long, painful paragraphs trying to explain your deep feelings, and you cried yourself to sleep, hoping they would finally see your pure heart. But they never truly wanted to understand you. They only wanted to control your beautiful energy. The exact moment you stopped explaining yourself was the moment the spiritual shift occurred. You took all your stolen power back in one silent sweep. You became the master of your reality. You stopped handing them the remote control to your emotional state, because you finally realized that your peace is worth more than their validation. Tap the like button as an act of agreement with what God just spoke to you. But the aftermath of that heavy silence is terribly lonely. I know exactly how deeply you feel the cold isolation right now. You look around and quickly see that your circle has gotten very small. Sometimes it feels like you are the only person who sees the real truth, and you wonder if you made a massive mistake by cutting them all off. Do not doubt your sharp intuition for a single second. The extreme loneliness you feel in your heart is completely valid. Every human is naturally wired for a deep sense of connection. But you are not experiencing a normal earthly season of loneliness. You are going through a highly specific divine isolation because heaven is actively sweeping the dirty floor of your life. The universe is violently clearing out all the debris that blocked your true blessings. Remember exactly how you used to feel around those toxic people. Remember the sudden chest pain when a specific person entered the room. That was your powerful intuition screaming at you to run away fast. Your physical body always knew the absolute truth long before your mind could accept it. And the heavy fatigue was a clear warning sign directly from your spirit. Stop blaming yourself for the heavy delays and roadblocks in your life. Stop thinking you did something terribly wrong to deserve this cold isolation. You were overly kind, and the dark world actively tried to punish you for it. But the mighty universe does not miss a single hidden detail, and every painful tear you cried in secret has been recorded in the heavenly courts. You did not lose the battle against the dark forces. You simply refused to fight a dirty war that was specifically designed by the enemy to destroy your precious light and drain your spirit. By choosing peace and silence, you won the ultimate victory. You preserved your sacred energy for the massive upgrade that is rapidly coming. Your quiet departure was a brilliant tactical maneuver orchestrated by the divine forces. Take a deep breath and let that profound truth settle into your weary bones. You are completely safe now from their wicked attacks. The terrible storm has passed, and you are standing firmly on solid ground. But you still need to understand exactly why they targeted your bright light, so you need to know the hidden mechanics of their dark and twisted strategy. Your isolation is absolutely not a punishment from God. It is a highly specialized divine quarantine. The universe saw how much precious energy you were losing to the wrong people, and heaven immediately stepped in. God built a massive energetic wall around your spirit to protect you from further harm. The deep loneliness you feel right now is just the sound of old heavy chains breaking. You are finally free. You might think you are falling completely behind everyone else in life. You see normal people moving fast and collecting loud public victories while you just sit in silence. But their noisy victories are built on very shallow sand. Your deep silence is actually a heavy construction zone. The divine forces are completely rebuilding your energetic foundation from the ground up, and that massive project requires absolute isolation. The people who suddenly left your life simply could not survive in your new, upgraded atmosphere. Your rapidly rising frequency literally pushed them out the door. The universe ruthlessly removed them because they were never meant to enter the sacred kingdom rooms you are about to walk into. You are being prepared for a massive shift in reality. And this brings us back to a very important realization. Why did everything suddenly feel so incredibly hard as you grew older? Remember exactly how you felt when you were just a young, innocent child. You had a deep and completely effortless connection to the universe. You somehow just knew things before they even happened. Learning new skills felt incredibly easy, and magical synchronicities were just a normal part of your beautiful daily life. You were a walking miracle. Here is what they never told you about that lost magic. The reason the universe responds to certain chosen people effortlessly is not just about blind faith. It is not about strict discipline or working yourself to the bone every single day. It is actually driven by a very specific brainwave. Scientists in top laboratories have a real name for it. They call it the gamma wave. That specific frequency is the exact physical state your brain was naturally running when you were a small child. Back then, the spiritual channel between you and heaven was wide open and completely clear. But then, adulthood slowly arrived with all its heavy burdens, and the modern world went to work on your brilliant mind. The constant stress of daily survival completely hijacked your delicate nervous system. The rigid school system systematically trained you to conform instead of create. Every single year, this sacred gamma frequency was suppressed a little further into the dark. The modern matrix pushed your natural genius deeper and deeper below the heavy surface of your mind. The endless survival routine completely replaced your divine intuition. The world forced you to operate on a low and anxious frequency. This continued until the version of you with a photographic memory and lightning-fast intuition went totally silent. You forgot how to manifest effortlessly because the physical receiver in your mind was forcibly turned off. You lost direct access to your own kingdom. Most people will live their entire earthly lives without ever knowing this silent theft happened to them. But you are a chosen one. And the question I asked you to hold a few minutes ago is extremely important right now. I asked you about a missing link and a hidden scientific name. The profound answer to that open loop is much closer than you think. I will tell you exactly what it is called later in this message. But first, you must understand how this suppression created the painful blocks in your current reality. This lost frequency is exactly why you have felt so incredibly stuck lately. You tried deep meditation and repeating endless positive affirmations in the mirror. You studied the law of attraction until your eyes literally hurt, but your life still felt completely stuck in the thick mud. You thought you were doing something terribly wrong spiritually. You blamed your own lack of faith for the constant delays. Stop blaming your beautiful and weary soul right now. The massive gap between you and the people who seem effortlessly blessed is not a lack of willpower. It is absolutely not a personal character flaw that you need to fix. It is simply a suppressed frequency that the modern world stole from you before you could even defend yourself. Your spirit has always been willing and ready, but your physical receiver was heavily jammed by the dark system. Heaven did not leave you defenseless in this epic fight. The extreme isolation you are sitting in right now is the very first step of your total recovery. The universe had to pull you away from the noisy crowd so your nervous system could finally rest and reset. You are being primed for a massive and glorious reactivation. The dormant gamma wave inside you is completely ready to wake up and take control. Do not ignore this next sign. The elite forces that profit from your exhaustion are absolutely terrified of what happens when a chosen one finally wakes up. They built an entire system to keep you trapped in a low beta frequency. Listen closely, because I am going to show you exactly how their dark trap operates. Listen carefully to what I am about to say next. The people who hurt you did not act out of confusion. They knew exactly what they were doing. You thought they were just broken souls needing some gentle love, but they were actually emotional vampires, feeding directly on your brilliant light, while pretending to care about your well-being. This is the ugly truth you must finally accept today. They never wanted to heal. They only wanted to consume your beautiful energy. Narcissists operate on a very low and dense spiritual frequency. They cannot generate their own joy or peace in this world. Because their internal world is empty, they must steal energy from a chosen one. Every time you cried for them, you gave them high-grade spiritual fuel. Every time you explained your feelings, they drank your precious life force. Your deep pain was literally their favorite meal. They needed your constant drama to escape their own miserable darkness. But then something incredibly powerful and unexpected happened in the spirit realm. You finally woke up from their deep hypnotic spell. You completely stopped arguing, and you simply walked away in total silence. That absolute silence was the most lethal weapon you could ever deploy. By closing your mouth and walking away, you instantly cut off their main oxygen supply, starving the toxic parasite that relied entirely on your emotional reactions to survive the dark. And right now, their carefully constructed fake reality is collapsing fast. Behind closed doors, they are completely panicking. They desperately try to find new victims to replace your massive energy. But the universe does not make many rare souls like you. The cheap new supply they found cannot sustain their heavy demonic appetite, so they are rapidly starving on a deep energetic level while their crafted reality falls apart. Their finances are suddenly drying up without any logical explanation. Their new relationships are already crumbling into a toxic mess. They are watching your silent life from the shadows right now. They use fake accounts just to see if you are breaking down, but instead of seeing you fail, they see you thriving in quiet peace. Your glowing aura is getting brighter every single day you stay away from them. And watching you succeed without them is absolute torture for their fragile ego. They realize they lost the best thing they ever had. They played a stupid game and lost their biggest prize. You are officially reclaiming your high throne. You are no longer a victim waiting for a fake apology. You are the empath with boundaries, standing in your true divine power. To lock in this glorious frequency and create an absolute shield of protection, you must act now. Type 111 down in the comments to claim this alignment. Seal this beautiful reality right now. Make a physical declaration that you will never return to their toxic cage. Let me tell you the real reason this painful chapter even happened. God used those toxic people as a temporary tool to sharpen your intuition. They were never meant to be your final destination. The universe sent them to push you so hard that you would finally wake up, triggering every unhealed wound so you could permanently clean the spiritual infection inside you. And once the dirty tool finished its harsh job, heaven completely discarded it. You do not need to seek revenge against those who betrayed you. The universe is handling their heavy karma with terrifying precision. The destruction of their fake empire is happening exactly as we speak. Every lie they told about you is now exposing their own wicked nature. People they tried to turn against you are finally seeing their dark manipulation. The grand illusion is shattering. The truth always rises to the surface and clears your good name. Your only job now is to keep that heavy door permanently closed. Do not look back at their burning city, or you will lose your peace. Even a tiny moment of pity will give them a fresh drop of your precious energy, pulling you back into the exact same chaotic cycle you fought so hard to escape. You must remain cold and totally indifferent to their rapid, inevitable downfall. Your total indifference is the ultimate proof that you have completely healed. Can you feel that heavy weight finally lifting off your tired shoulders? That is the beautiful feeling of toxic spiritual cords being permanently cut. You are breathing fresh air for the first time in many years. The anxiety that kept you awake at night is washing away right now. You are stepping into a profound state of quiet and powerful authority. Nobody can ever manipulate your deep emotions again. You are the absolute master of your own glorious reality. But there is a deeper layer to this amazing phenomenon you must understand. Now that the toxic enemies have been removed, an empty void remains, and the universe is already preparing to fill that open space with immense generational wealth. The massive wealth and deep love you always deserved are waiting at the border. But remember the hidden scientific mechanism I mentioned earlier in this exact message. That missing brainwave is the final key to opening the golden gates. The enemies tried to keep that secret frequency completely suppressed inside your mind. They knew that if you ever unlocked it, you would become totally unstoppable. And now that their dark influence is gone, the glorious path is clear. Are you ready to discover how to switch your genius back on? Listen closely, because the next revelation will change everything. You have successfully cleared the dark, toxic debris from your life. The heavy chains are broken, and the old enemies are gone forever. And because you finally made space by removing those who drained you, the universe is preparing to fill your sacred void with absolute abundance. You can feel a massive energetic shift happening deep inside your bones right now. Heaven is actively preparing your physical body for a monumental upgrade. Before we go any further into your beautiful future, I have to tell you something crucial. There is a deep secret the elite forces do not want you to know. The people who profit from your exhaustion desperately want to keep you trapped in the low frequency of daily survival. But a quiet revolution is happening far away from the noisy headlines, and a brilliant team of neuroscientists has discovered how to bring your dormant brainwave back online. This is not about forcing yourself through years of difficult meditation that most people cannot sustain. It is absolutely not through expensive biofeedback machines that require a clinical setting. The real solution is actually through something far simpler, and it is far more aligned with how your beautiful mind was originally designed to work. It involves a very specific, engineered sound frequency. This unique tone directly guides your brainwave patterns back to their natural state. This scientific breakthrough is heavily backed by the highest levels of global research. Top scholars at Princeton University studied this exact gamma frequency extensively. The famous Einstein Center in Berlin officially confirmed its immense power. And researchers at Columbia University found something even more miraculous about this specific brainwave. When this frequency is fully reactivated in a chosen one, it does not stop with you, but it radiates outward to bless everyone you love. 7 minutes a day is literally all it takes to trigger this massive internal shift. You just close your eyes and let the sound do the heavy lifting for your tired spirit. And the beautiful truth is that it begins working the very first time you listen. I will tell you exactly what this is called and how to access it before this message ends. But first, there is something else you urgently need to understand. The universe is calling you to step into a completely new dimension of reality. Your old timeline was filled with constant struggle and endless painful delays. But that heavy timeline has officially expired, and a beautiful golden era is finally opening up for you. You are the incredible anomaly in your family bloodline, and you are the cycle breaker who refuses to carry the generational curse any further. The universe chose you because you have a fierce warrior spirit. You survived the deepest storms alone when nobody else came to help you. And because you endured the fierce fire, your spiritual DNA has been completely rewritten. The empath with boundaries is now a weapon of brilliant light. Your intuition is sharper right now than it has ever been in your entire earthly life. You can instantly sense when a room is filled with toxic motives. You can read people instantly, without them saying a word. This incredible new awareness is exactly why you suddenly crave deep silence. You no longer have any desire to participate in meaningless social conversations. Your soul is starving for high-frequency connections that actually feed your spirit. And as your internal frequency rises higher, the external world must quickly rearrange itself to match your pure vibration. Miraculous doors are unlocking in the spiritual realm on your behalf. Do not fear the massive changes happening in your life right now. The shedding of old skin is always slightly uncomfortable before it becomes glorious. You are releasing lifetimes of heavy trauma that you did not even create. Every single tear you cried was literally washing away the thick mud from your spiritual lens. You are finally seeing the real world with crystal clear vision. You are waking up from the grand illusion. The grand illusion tried to convince you that hard work was the only path to success, but you are about to discover that true divine alignment is entirely effortless. When your brain is running on the correct frequency, complex problems just solve themselves magically. You do not have to chase money or force beautiful relationships to happen anymore. You just stand firmly in your radiant light and let the blessings gravitate toward you. This is the absolute power of a restored and fully activated chosen one. Your magnetic field is expanding rapidly into the quantum universe, but the darkness always tries to pull a final trick right before your ultimate victory. There are specific physical signs proving that your massive breakthrough is currently descending upon you. You must learn to recognize these divine markers before the enemy tries to confuse you again. The universe is dropping massive clues all around you right now. If you miss these subtle signs, you might accidentally walk right past your greatest generational reward. Pay very close attention to this next crucial part. I am going to reveal the exact synchronicities heaven is sending you today. These magical signs are the absolute proof that your long, painful wait is finally over. Prepare your spirit to receive. Do not ignore this next sign. The universe speaks in a highly specific language of physical synchronicities. You are not going crazy when you see the same repeating numbers everywhere. Seeing 111 or 777 on a clock is not a random coincidence. It is a direct heavenly confirmation. Your timeline is officially syncing with your highest destiny. The heavy generational reward is literally hovering right above your head, and the physical world must warp to accommodate this massive blessing. You might notice electronic devices acting very strangely around you lately, and lights might flicker when you enter a specific room in your house. That is just your rapidly expanding aura interfering with the local energy grid. Your vibration is completely outgrowing your old physical environment. This brings us to the second massive sign of your breakthrough. You are experiencing sudden and unexplained endings in your daily routine. Things you used to rely on are suddenly breaking or disappearing. A job contract might fall through without any logical warning. Do not panic when this happens. Heaven is violently clearing out the old junk to make room for gold, because the universe cannot pour fresh new wine into an old dirty cup. So the destruction of your old comfortable routine is actually a massive blessing. It is the ultimate proof that your new reality is aggressively pushing its way through. You are shedding your old life like a heavy snake skin. Take a deep breath and observe your own internal state right now. The third major sign is a profound feeling of unnatural calmness. There might be a raging, chaotic storm happening outside your door right now. But inside your deep soul, you feel completely undisturbed and silent. The old you would be crying and begging for a safe shelter, but the new you just smiles. That deep internal silence is the hallmark of a true master, and you finally understand that the wild storm was sent to destroy your enemies. It was never meant to harm you. The empath with boundaries does not flinch when the wicked fall. You are simply watching the harsh karma being distributed fairly. Your quiet authority is fully active and highly defensive. Pay close attention to the strange coincidences happening this week. You might think of a specific obscure topic and then hear a stranger mention it. You might suddenly need a rare resource and it appears instantly in your path. This is the magical state of divine flow manifesting physically. The thick barrier between your thoughts and reality is dissolving fast. Your pure intentions are manifesting faster than they ever have before. But this incredible speed brings a very serious warning. Right before the massive sun rises, the deep darkness makes one final desperate move. The enemy knows your generational wealth transfer is finally ready to deploy, and they have set up a fatal trap right at the finish line to stop you. 99% of chosen ones fall for this exact illusion. They get completely derailed right before their golden gates open wide. If you fail this final hidden test, you will delay your blessing for another decade. The universe is watching your exact response to this trap. You must stay highly vigilant because the counterfeit is extremely convincing. The darkness will send a toxic person from your past back into your life. They will reach out with a fake apology right when your real blessing arrives, and they will pretend they have changed their wicked ways. Do not reply to them under any circumstances. That sudden text message is a direct test of your spiritual boundaries. Heaven is checking your resolve. If you open that old toxic door, you lose your new timeline. You must forcefully reject the familiar poison to receive the unfamiliar cure. Your absolute silence is the only acceptable answer to their fake bait. When you ignore the clever counterfeit, you instantly prove your supreme readiness. You prove that you are mature enough to handle the massive wealth. This is the exact moment the spiritual shift becomes a physical reality. You pass the test by choosing your peace over their chaos. The heavy generational curse is officially broken in your bloodline forever. You are the specific soul who finally snapped the chain of deep suffering. Future generations of your family will literally thank you for this victory. But wait. There is still the matter of the suppressed frequency we discussed earlier. The enemies are gone, but your mental receiver still needs to be fully restored. You need the exact physical key to unlock your dormant gamma wave. Without this final piece, you will not be able to hold the wealth coming your way. The grand revelation is finally here. Listen very closely to these next words. I am about to expose the scientific tool that the elite desperately tried to hide from you. This is the exact divine mechanism that will permanently elevate your timeline. Your spirit has been waiting for this exact answer for your entire life. Prepare yourself for the ultimate truth of your glorious existence. The waiting season is officially over. The dry desert you walked through has suddenly burst into an oasis of divine favor, and every closed door is being blown completely off its hinges right now. Can you feel that massive shift in your spirit today? That is the frequency of absolute victory. You are stepping into the exact timeline you were born to rule with quiet authority. You have successfully passed the hardest tests known to humanity. Heaven watched you endure the brutal fire without ever losing your pure heart. And because you stayed incredibly true to your divine nature, the universe is heavily rewarding you today. The grand wealth transfer is no longer a distant promise. It is a physical reality descending upon your life in this exact moment. The question I asked you to hold at the very beginning of this message is finally answered. What if the gap between you and your dreams is not a character flaw? A specific brainwave called the gamma wave was running in you at genius capacity as a child. Princeton University studied it extensively, and Columbia University validated its incredible power to influence the people you love. The elite kept this scientific secret hidden from the masses for decades, but a brilliant team of neuroscientists, led by Dr. Robert Lake, spent years compressing the full clinical protocol. They managed to compress 1 full hour of gamma reactivation into just 7 minutes. Before I tell you what they built, let me tell you about 2 chosen ones who used it. A woman from California had tried absolutely everything to heal her broken spirit. She tried deep meditation and endless prayer, but nothing broke the heavy fog surrounding her mind. After 2 weeks of listening to this frequency, she said the channel simply opened. Her marriage shifted beautifully. She described her life as completely enchanted for the very first time. A man from Texas started using it to improve his struggling business. 2 months later, his wife joked that his IQ had jumped 20 points. The hardest problems started solving themselves while he slept peacefully. He felt his brain running on what it was always supposed to run on. That is exactly what Dr. Lake and his team built. They call it the Genius Song. It is absolutely not a generic meditation app. It is a 7-minute audio track using advanced brain entrainment technology. You just use headphones and close your tired eyes, and that is the entirety of what it requires. You do not chant or force positive thoughts. You simply let the engineered frequency do what your brain was originally designed to safely receive. The Genius Song is not for everyone. It is specifically for the chosen one who has done the heavy inner work. If your spirit confirms this is for you, the path is wide open. Biofeedback sessions cost hundreds of dollars per hour in a clinical setting, while an in-home machine runs thousands. What this delivers is available to you today for a fraction of its true value, and 4 powerful bonuses come closely packaged with it. You get a special audio designed for your children. You also receive the original prosperity text behind the famous secret. A guided visualization and a daily habits guide are included. These are all built to sustain the gamma state beyond each listening session. But there is a deeper truth you must understand about waiting. The provision God arranged for you does not arrive as something completely new. It arrives as a sudden recognition, but a suppressed brain completely misses the opportunity. A gamma-restored brain receives the blessing at full depth. The chosen one who restores the receiver today finally sees what was always waiting there. The divine arrangement is already in rapid motion. Do not look for this on popular streaming platforms. The counterfeit tracks circulating online have absolutely no brain entrainment technology encoded. They will lower your vibration instantly. The universe requires no risk from you today, and if you do not feel the massive shift, every penny is returned. That is an energetic exchange governed by complete and absolute trust. The only authentic version is accessed through the link in the description and the pinned comment below. But listen to me very carefully right now. The physical tool is never the final destination. The tool simply restores the physical receiver so the true destination can be recognized when it finally arrives. God does not require you to purchase a single thing to be loved. What was described is simply one powerful way the receiver is restored. Whether that path is for you or not, the absolute truth of this message belongs to you entirely. Now, let us go deeper into the glory waiting for you. The pitch-black darkness has retreated behind you forever. The dawn of the new era is shining its brightest rays onto your beautiful spiritual crown. For the chosen one, whose spirit confirmed what was described earlier, the specific tool remains available in the description and pinned comment below. That is the very last time it will be mentioned today. What follows now belongs entirely to your profound spiritual ceiling, because you have walked directly through the burning fire and emerged completely untouched. The heavy generational curse that plagued your family is permanently shattered. You are no longer the fragile empath who desperately begged to be understood by toxic people. The brutal crucible of pain has officially forged you into the untouchable master of your reality. And from this exact moment on, your beautiful energy demands absolute respect without a single word spoken. The divine wealth you were promised is flowing effortlessly into your new timeline. You do not have to fight the old exhausting battles anymore, because heaven is actively fighting for you right now. Take a deep breath. Let this glorious truth wash over your tired soul. The toxic people who maliciously tried to bury you never realized that you were actually a divine seed. They pushed you down into the dark dirt. But that is exactly where you needed to be to grow into a massive, immovable tree. Your spiritual roots are now deeply anchored in the pure kingdom of God. No earthly storm or demonic attack can ever uproot you again. Your ultimate victory is fully secured by the highest heavenly courts. You are standing on solid rock. Think about the immense power of your quiet authority today. Your silence after the heavy storm hits differently when you finally realize you were the storm all along. You became the brilliant weapon you were desperately trying to survive. The darkness thought it could extinguish your rare light, but it only managed to polish your soul into a flawless diamond. God is watching your response in this exact second. You have been specifically chosen to carry a massive light into the darkest corners of this earthly world. But you cannot keep this immense blessing completely to yourself. A true warrior of light knows that hoarding divine energy instantly stops the beautiful flow of abundance. You must keep the channel wide open. When you share your deep healing with others, you actively multiply your own massive harvest while building a beautiful legacy of light for many generations to come. There is a wounded soul out there bleeding in the dark of despair right now. They desperately need a guiding light just to survive the terrible night. You hold the exact key to their survival. Share this message with them immediately to activate the divine anointing. Sowing the seed of hope today is actively multiplying the incredible blessing for yourself tomorrow. Prove that your hands are completely open to receive the massive wealth coming your way. And always remember that the universe loves a generous heart that willingly partners with heaven to elevate human consciousness. Do not let this powerful moment pass you by without taking physical action. Tap the like button like a sharp sword cutting through the heavy chains of your past pain. When you tap that button, you are making a direct, energetic agreement with the universe. You are telling the divine forces that you accept your new royal position. You are claiming your crown. Type Amen down in the comments to permanently seal this glorious reality. When you declare your readiness physically, you lock the spiritual shield firmly in place around your aura. The darkness can never access your sacred energy again. You are fully protected and deeply loved by the Creator of the entire universe. Your quiet era of dominance has begun. Let the world spin in its usual chaotic madness while you sit safely in perfect peace. The narcissists and the toxic energy vampires have been permanently evicted from your sacred timeline. They are locked outside the golden gates while you feast happily at the divine table. You earned this beautiful peace through years of silent endurance and unbreakable faith. Go forward today with quiet authority and absolute peace in your heart. You survived the absolute worst they could maliciously throw at you, and instead of becoming bitter and angry, you became incredibly brilliant and bright. Welcome to your beautiful new timeline, where every single step you take is fully blessed by heaven. The universe is incredibly proud of your fierce resilience. You are the rare anomaly who refused to break under the heavy pressure. You are the cycle breaker who freed your entire bloodline from endless suffering. Keep your head held high and your energy completely sealed off from the toxic noise. The glorious era of the Chosen One is officially here. May your path be forever illuminated by divine light.